Whatever that means.
So my general rule when applying a fragrance is I want to put on enough that I can be discovered, not so much that I'm going to announce myself when I walk in the room and choke people out. So when I saw this video by Curly Fragrance on how to overspray and get compliments, yeah, I had to watch it. Now, before we get started, in general, do I think you should overspray a fragrance? Well, I do think there are fragrances out there that are very light, and you need to spray a bit more on maybe than usual to get it to project a bit. Other fragrances though, especially those that really project off your skin, 1 to 2 sprays is usually more than enough. Now, in my opinion, they'll be choking on awesomeness, but not everyone sees it that way. And for me, that's the logic behind not overspraying. Yes, some fragrances make you smell like a sexy astronaut and are awesome, and you could put 10 sprays of this on and it's not going to offend anybody. But there are other ones out there that are just stronger and you got to be careful with. And of course, always pay attention to the situation. If you're taking a road trip with people, 10 sprays of this, they're going to have the windows down. So with that being said, let's start the video.
So in this video, I will teach you how to spray a fragrance. Because all these people on the internet, Instagram, YouTube, wherever they are, they've been teaching you incorrect.
So I like this. This woman has confidence. I may think she's wrong, but she thinks she's right and she doesn't care what I think.
Because most of them are all sissy sprayers.
Oh, so I'm a sissy sprayer? I like how she's coming up with this terminology. Let's see where she goes with this.
And then I'm thinking like, you are a person who loves a fragrance, but you don't even spray more than 5 times?
So if you don't spray more than 5 times, you apparently are a sissy sprayer. My issue with this, again, is that a fragrance like Koros, you don't need to spray 5 times. Now, Givenchy Play Intense, I could spray this on 5 times and get away with it. So there's hope for me.
Do you even love fragrances? Alright, you guys in the comment have been asking me on how to correctly overspray a fragrance. So I've seen people on YouTube trying to overspray themselves and choking themselves out. Why? Because they spray the whole time around their own head. Dude!
Her use of memes is on point.
You're having it here, it's coming to you, it's so close, you're gonna choke yourself out. It's stupid. No, you can't overspray. Actually, everybody can overspray if you're doing the right technique. There's even now on Instagram, there's a challenge like 20 sprays challenge. It's not a challenge, it's the right way to spray a fragrance.
All right, so at this point, she's laid down the gauntlet. She's saying that 20 sprays isn't a challenge, it's simply the right way. This woman, she's got cojones. I mean, seriously, Curly Fragrance, in what situation does it make sense to spray Dior Fahrenheit on your body 20 times? Maybe if you're heading to a protest and you want to light yourself on fire? Now, to Michelle's defense, men have been using that 20 spray technique for a while. I mean, how many times have you walked into a club and smelled nothing but Versace Eros or Dior Sauvage? But still, advocating 20 sprays, you're going to smell like a ball of cotton candy with this stuff, which if you're trying to pick up girls at a Taylor Swift concert may not be a bad thing. All right, so back to the content.
So in this video, we're going to talk about why I overspray. Actually, my first YouTube video was 5 reasons why I overspray a fragrance, but we're going to do it a little bit different right now. 2, how to spray because you guys have been choking yourselves out. And 3, tips and tricks to make it last longer.
All right, so I appreciate that part. She's an organized person. She broke the video into 3 parts. I can count to 3, so maybe this will make sense to me.
Now, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, more gentlemen because I have 2% of the ladies, but those ladies are awesome.
Interesting fact, and funny enough, we actually have 8% of our audience that is women. And I have no idea why our ladies watch these videos. And if you are a woman watching our videos, please let us know down in the comments why you watch. I'm genuinely curious.
Grab yourselves a cup of coffee and let's get into it.
I like how she flicks her tongue there in the intro. She's got a lot of energy.
So the reason why I overspray fragrances? Well, because I get compliments with it. With this technique that I'm doing.
And that makes sense. You overspray, you spray more people are going to notice. In general, you're going to get more compliments.
I'm getting the most compliments ever. And I'm not gonna lie, I love it when I get compliments. And so do you. A lot of people say, I wear fragrances for myself. The most viewed YouTube videos is top 10 most complimented.
And she makes a really good point. There's so many of the fragrance snobs out there. They're like, I don't care what other people think. I wear that fragrance for me. No, the vast majority of us wear it because we do appreciate, we like the compliments. Me included.
So what do we want? I mean, like, I want compliments. I want people to know me from smelling good, from smelling nice always. Okay, so the second thing why I overspray all my fragrances. Because this way you can make them project more and stay longer. You will have no issues with any fragrance anymore. A lot of people are complaining with, this doesn't project, this doesn't last, blah, blah, blah. With overspraying, no problem. Everything is good.
Now, she makes a really good point here, and that is so many people complain about weak fragrances. Here's the thing. Not all fragrances need to be overpowering, and I like it, especially on a summer fragrance, maybe a fall or a spring fragrance, that's not overly powerful, because sometimes you do want something light, especially if you're going to be sweating, and that is going to project it off. But if you really want to have more projection, you just simply put on more of the fragrance. You get 1,400 sprays in a typical 100 ml bottle. That's a lot of sprays. So simply use it instead of complaining.
You can make everything project as much and stay as long as you want. Just increase the sprays. The third reason, it makes me feel super confident that people know me from always smelling good. And people be, like, hey, there's that fragrance girl. I love that name. Like, hey, there's the fragrance girl. She always smells good.
I enjoy this. She likes being labeled as the fragrance girl. Not everyone, I understand, wants to be labeled as the fragrance guys. But I wonder if anyone's actually seen her and said, you know what? That is the curly fragrance girl. Maybe she misnamed her channel.
And people think that's a bad thing. Like, oh, there is the annoying cologne guy. For me, that's not annoying. That's the guy that always smells good.
Again, I love her use of memes, and she's saying this with confidence. She has her opinion, and she's sticking with it. I like it.
For me, being the cologne guy or the cologne girl is really not a bad thing. You are known for smelling good all the time. Now, the fourth reason.
Whoa, she's got a fourth reason. I told you guys I can only count to 3, so I may get lost at past this point.
I didn't pay a lot of money with some of these niche fragrances, like 200 euros, 300 euros. Some are even 500 euros, for no one to smell me.
She's right. A lot of these fragrances can get expensive, and if you're going to spend $500 or euros or pounds on a fragrance, you want people to smell this. She's making some solid points.
That I would have only sprayed 5 times. If I've spent so much money on a fragrance, everybody's going to smell it.
She cracks me up.
If you want it or not.
Her videos are very enjoyable to watch.
You don't even have to be in my neck area. You can smell me from there, and that's what I want.
I like that. She didn't even care. If you don't want to smell her, too bad. If you're going to get a migraine headache, get out of the room.
Now, we don't have to think the same about that, but that's what I like. I like to project like a beast all the time. I'm not gonna wait for a left kiss, right kiss compliment. Because, be real guys, with how many people are you gonna do a left kiss, right kiss? If you need to wait for that moment for a left kiss, right kiss, you're never getting a compliment. I don't kiss with people all the time, and not in these corona days also. Ugh.
But girly, I've heard that fragrance should be discovered, not pronounced.
Ooh, she's taking me on right there. That fragrance should be discovered, not announced. Did she say pronounced? Let me know what she said down in the comments.
Do not listen to that nonsense.
I like how she smacks you. So apparently, do not listen to me. I like that.
Wear your fragrance with pride and confidence, because you are the best smelling person in the whole room.
Now, gents, today's video is brought to you by Vitaman. In case you haven't heard of them, they're making the best damn grooming products on the planet. And as an owner, I'm not biased at all. Seriously though, gents, go over to our website and look at what goes into these products. Everything is made in Australia, following really strict procedures and guidelines coming out of the EU. We use natural and organic ingredients to make amazing grooming products that you can see the difference. Our deodorant keeps you smelling great all day and doesn't use any aluminum. Look at your deodorant. Look at the ingredients. You're going to find aluminum listed. Our volumizing shampoo Perfect if you're over the age of 30, starting to deal with thinning hair. This right here is going to make your hair look fuller and thicker. Most face scrubs out there are using these microplastic beads, not good for the environment. Our face scrub uses natural bamboo as an exfoliator. Gents, if you need specialty shampoo for oily hair, dry hair, we've got you covered over at Vitamin. We've got styling products, we've got skincare products, we've got shaving products. Go over to our website and use that link down in the description of today's video to get the best deal on the web.
How many sprays with each fragrance and tips and tricks to make it last longer. I'm going to use a designer fragrance because that is what most people have access to and what most people are wearing.
All right, so I appreciate that she's going to show me exactly how to overspray. So let's see what's in this.
But the spraying routine all depends on what you're wearing. How I spray this designer fragrance will be different than these fragrances. These are beast mode fragrances. These are very, very powerful, and I know in the fragrance community that people even spray these like one time. So it will be very different.
So first up, I appreciate that she actually talks that different fragrances project and have different strength and that this needs to be adapted to that. So, okay, all right, so I respect that.
When I spray a fragrance with, for instance, like these, still depends on where I'm going, I would still spray 16 times, to be honest.
All right, I take that back. She just said that she would spray those ones on still 16 times.
But of course, it all depends on where you're going and where you live, what weather it is, indoors or outdoors. So before I get all these stupid comments again, like,
you can spray like that in the office. You can spray like that in the car. You can spray like that in the hospital.
No. Then, of course not. People, use your common sense.
Okay, thank you. She said it. Use your common sense.
Common sense.
Obviously, if you're in a hospital, if you're in the office, if you're in a car with people for 5 hours, you don't overspray. Okay, I think that's what she said.
We all have a brain, right? I have a brain too. I'm not gonna spray like that all the time if it's not appropriate. Appropriate. I can't even pronounce that word, but you know what I mean. So please, people, use your brain. So with these fragrances, I would spray 16 times when I'm going to be outdoors, in a big room, or outside, where I can't choke people out. If I'm being indoors, it would be 10 sprays, not more than that.
10 sprays indoors of those beast mode fragrances. She's not fooling around.
And if I would be at the office, I would spray 5 times with beast mode fragrances.
5 times in the office with beast mode fragrances. Okay, yeah.
Now with good performing fragrances like these, I would spray about 20 times when I would be outside or in a very big room. And when I would be indoors, it would be 16 times. If I would be in close encounters, I would go around 10.
All right, so I appreciate how she's being specific, but still, 20 times this fragrance right here, which is really strong, outdoors, okay, maybe if you're at a picnic and it's windy, but yeah, you're gonna project like 10 to 15 feet at least. Indoors on a regular day, 16 times. In the office, 10 times with Spice Bomb Extreme. Yeah, that's pretty extreme.
Now, with average to weak fragrances like these that perform normal or even bad, I would spray 20 plus indoors.
Now, as I go deeper into this video, I get an idea of what she considers to be a weak fragrance. So you guys have probably seen Dolce & Gabbana's The One. The original, the EDT right here, is, I will admit, not super strong. You're gonna get 6 hours out of this. But the EDP, this is a good 8 hour. This is a stronger fragrance. And the fact that she's calling this weak, I am worried a bit about Michela's nose. I'm not sure that it's, man, I mean, she's got high standards for what she expects.
And I would even put ISO E Super and Ambroxan over the fragrances to make it perform.
Now this is really interesting, and you can tell she's a fragrance connoisseur because she views this as like a stock vehicle, and she's adding aftermarket parts to increase the performance. Yeah, when she starts talking about ISO, she starts talking about Ambroxan and adding these and mixing fragrances. Yeah, you know she's at a whole other level.
So now I'll show you the correct way to spray and make it stay. So a lot of people will tell you, right when you come out of the shower, you should spray your fragrance. That is so stupid to me. Bruh, when I come out of the shower, I need to put my clothes on and put lotion on. I need to do my hair, I need to do my makeup, you know? The correct way, what I think you should do right before you go out. Instead of right out of the shower and you need to do all these things at home before you leave. Boom, 2 hours away of the fragrance. It doesn't even project anymore. Stupid.
So this is interesting. Her logic for not applying right outside the shower is that you may have 30 minutes to an hour before you leave your house. Why put on the fragrance early when that first projection happens in the first hour, hour and a half? No, you want to lengthen that out, and that's why she's saying put it on later. But for me, I know one of the reasons I don't put on a fragrance right outside of the shower is I'm still a bit wet. But usually my skin is pretty warm and I don't want to put it right on because it is going to be something that my skin isn't going to be receptive. Not so much about it, worried about the projection time. Wrong in my opinion, but still interesting.
All right, now we're gonna spray with a fragrance La Nuit de l'Homme. And I make this one project like a mofo. You also don't need the vintage one. You just need to overspray. And then there are also those people who say like,
It is a waste of your money if you need to overspray.
I don't care. If I love the fragrance and I want to help it to project, I'll make it project. And what I do is I also buy the 200 milliliter of it.
Now I appreciate this part of the video because she makes a good point. La Nuit's an amazing fragrance, but it doesn't project. It doesn't last long, and she's exactly right. If you love her fragrance, buy a bigger bottle and simply wear more of it, especially if it's a weaker fragrance, one that maybe doesn't last long. Well, then just get a higher concentration of the oil on your skin by spraying a bit more. This one makes sense.
All right. Now it's time. So what I also do with that fragrance is I use an oil. Because if you spray the fragrance on the oil, it sticks better. A lot of people have been using like Vaseline or some other things. I know that I've already, when I came out of the shower, I have put already a lotion on. Non-scented lotion, but that's already in my skin. But it's still a little bit moist. But we're gonna make it even more moist with the oil.
So put it here, here, here. Oh, swipes.
Now she makes a pretty good point here, and that is if you want a weak fragrance to project more or last longer, yes, use a moisturizer, use an oil. Now, are you going to go around dabbing oil on? No, probably not. I do recommend just get a body moisturizer and use it again 5-10 minutes out of the shower, then 10 to 15 minutes after you put this stuff on and it's pretty much soaked in. That's when you want to put on your fragrance, in my opinion.
The oil is actually a very nice deer musk. It goes good with the fragrance. And you're going to put it all over in the clothing.
All right, so this is where I disagree. I'm not a huge fan of putting oils and deer musk on your clothing, especially if it's nicer clothing, it can stain. And in general, fragrances, they take a lot longer to dissipate from clothing. So if you're going to wear a new fragrance the next day and the clothing you have, let's say you're going to wear a jacket again or a sweatshirt that you wear a couple times in a row, I don't necessarily want the fragrance lingering. And for me, that's why I like to apply my fragrance to my body. And occasionally I will spray 5 to 6 times to 7 times. If I really like the fragrance, it's a bit weaker. And hopefully she's going to show us exactly where on the body she sprays. Yes, hopefully exactly where on the body. Right, guys?
So now the actual spraying. And do watch out with white clothing, but just spray it from a distance and you should be good. Unless the juice is very, very dark, then don't spray it on your clothing, just in case. Now, normally it's just a feeling of how I spray. Actually, I don't count, but now I'm gonna count with you. So what I do is I spray 3 times in my neck. So 1, 2, 3. Why? Because if you have layers on top of layers with the fragrance, it stays longer. Try it on your skin. Spray 3 times on your left wrist and 1 time on your right wrist. See which one lasts longer. I'm gonna tell you it's the left. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28.
All right, she's at 28 sprays and she isn't done. The big thing I'm noticing here is she's spraying all over her clothing, which again for me is a no-no. Maybe a little bit if you're really into the fragrance and it's a signature scent that you're gonna wear again and again. But I mean, this sweatshirt here, I mean, this thing is gonna stand up on its own.
Okay, and now what I do, because I have long hair and it stays a long time in my hair, I spray it, but I forgot how many sprays we are, so I just keep continuing. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
So as you can tell, I think she's overdoing it, but I do agree with her point about spraying in the hair. For me, one time, maybe twice, spraying on the back of the neck, the bottom part of the hair, I find that's a really nice place to spray if you want your fragrance to project a bit more, especially when you're walking to a room. You want that smell to follow you a bit. That's a good place to put it.
I don't know how many sprays, maybe 30, 40, I don't know.
Michelle, you're at 38 sprays, by the way.
So for people who say like,
It's not good spraying in your hair.
I spray my hair for years. Doesn't look dead, doesn't it? So I will continue that. But if you see that it's not good for your own hair, stop it. We got a lot more places to spray. And why I spray my hair and clothing? It lasts longer than on your skin. Now this combination will already be really good and I will smell like a Lana with a Lom the whole day and it will project like a mofo. No performance issues. But I wanted to go a little bit more. So what I do...
She is not done. This woman cannot be stopped.
Is I'm gonna do 2 sprays or 4 sprays, depends what my feeling is, of homemade ambroxan. One. Oh, why is it spraying weird? Yeah, that's how it should spray. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Not too much because else you're gonna really make the La Nuit de l'Homme different because this has a smell. Oh yeah, also a great tip for you guys. So if you want these fragrances also to perform, like we know that this doesn't perform. Allure Homme Edition Blanche doesn't perform. Givenchy Gentleman Cologne doesn't perform. Jean Varvatos Artisan Pure doesn't perform. What you need to do is do exactly the spraying routine as I just showed you. But then with this oil, it's called Musk Mandarin from Abdul Samad Al Quraishi. So you're gonna make it last longer. Put the oil on.
So as much as I disagree with how much fragrance she's wearing, I do have to hand it to her that she is giving you some really good hacks on how to get more performance out of your fragrances. So some solid tips here.
If you want to overspray like this, make sure you're standing in a big room. Maybe even open a window so you have fresh air.
So there you go, gents. You just need to have a bigger house, bigger apartment. You need to have a room dedicated to overspraying, preferably an amphitheater.
And if you think it's too much for your nose area, then avoid this whole thing. Spray it behind your ears. Now I will show you now a video of my mom because she has asthma and she can't handle it here, but still, she's an oversprayer. So here's her video and you can see how she does it.
A little bit more. Love it.
All right, so she just brought her mom into this video. We just went to level 5,000 and it all makes sense now.
So that was my mom with a Montal fragrance. She has done 30 or 36 sprays.
36 sprays right there for her mom. That was pretty quick.
A cold room with air conditioning, very big, so that's why I can spray like this. Now I know this will be shocking for a lot of people to see. And before you write a comment, this is like so normal in the Middle East. Bro, the Middle East is like 10 steps further in fragrances than where we are. I love Middle Eastern people, really. When I was in Dubai, it was the best experience ever because I could smell the amazing fragrance of all the people right there. It's their culture. Everything is with a fragrance. Everything. Their house, they scent their house with bakur. They use oud oils, they layer, they spray all the fragrance all over. They make sure that you can smell them.
And I really like that she makes this point here, talking about different cultures and how fragrance in the Middle East is just culture. This is something that they attach smells to a lot of different things. And yeah, I see that point.
And I love that. And that's why I love the culture and Arabic people. Really, I love you guys. Salam alaikum. And some people will say, less is more. Well, no, less is just less.
She does make a great point. Less is technically less. That's why it's the same word.
I have tried not to overspray. To do with a good fragrance, a monster fragrance, like 5 times. No compliment that day. Even when I was chilling with people, when I was close with them, I sprayed 5 times. Because I thought like, oh, well, maybe I'm really crazy and I'm choking people out. No, I wasn't. Because people asked me, Michelle, aren't you wearing a fragrance today? And I was like, yes, I am. They were like, really? Yeah. They needed to smell me all the way here to finally smell the fragrance. That's not what I want, but that's what you get if you only spray 5 sprays. People will only smell you from very close. They need to sniff your neck. I don't want people to sniff my neck. I want people to smell me from 2 meters away. There you already need to smell me. So for me, going less is just less. And for the trolls of this video who will be laughing at me, hear what Tom Ford has to say.
Perfect your method. Every time I see that silly thing of spraying the fragrance in the air and then moving through it, I laugh.
Sissy sprayer!
My method is to wear a lot of fragrance. Many people think that you should apply fragrance lightly. Why? If you have a scent that you love, why not be generous with it? Why smell only a little bit good when you can smell great?
And boom, like that, she ends it with a quote from Tom Ford. I mean, who can argue with Tom Ford? Now, gents, in case you didn't figure out, Michelle is a friend of mine and I absolutely love her channel. I'll be linking to it down in the description in addition to the original video, which I pulled this from, and some of my favorite videos on her channel. So go check out her channel, subscribe, support her. She's an amazing YouTuber. And yeah. All right, Jen, so what video to watch next? How about my reaction to Gentleman Gazette, his video on things that men wear that women absolutely hate. And I had a lot of fun with this video. You're just going to crack you up because in this video, I break out some of he calls people peasants. Find out what I'm talking about in this video right here. Yeah, it's a good one. Go check it out.